tens of thousands of protesting in Romania because basically the presidential race, the first round of the presidential race was annulled, was just like canceled by the Supreme Court after the candidate that they didn't like won. And you hear very little of this in the Western press. There's obviously some coverage, as this is an AP article. I'm not saying there's zero, but there's not, you don't hear, like, it's not like Biden is doing press conferences like he does about Maduro saying, this will not stand. This is a destruction of democracy. None of that. You're not hearing any of that from the U.S. government. Tens of thousands of protests in Romania's capital on Sunday against top court's decision last month to annul presidential election after an outsider candidate became the frontrunner. Many of the demonstrators in Bucharest honked horns and waved Romania's flags, while others brandished placards bearing slogans like "Democracy is not optional. We want free elections." The protest comes a month after the Constitutional Court made the unprecedented move to annul the election, just 2 days before December 8th runoff. So basically, he won the first round, and the second round was 2 days away, and they canceled it. The winner was the far-right populist, Kalin Georgescu, when he shocked many when he won the first round. Now, it's like, okay, far-right wing, I'm not a fan of far-right wingers. I imagine I would disagree if I were in Romania with a lot of what this guy stands for. But here's really the key. He is anti-war, anti-proxy war in Ukraine. And Romania has been really helping Ukraine in this proxy war with Russia. And the presidential frontrunner said he would bar Ukrainian grain exports via Romania. Romania's far-right presidential frontrunner said on Wednesday that he'd bar continued Ukrainian grain exports through Romania and further military aid to Kiev if elected, and that Bucharest is not obliged to stick to NATO's defense spending commitments. So he doesn't want Romania to be part of the war anymore. And the U.S. cannot have that, right? We have to continue to fight this proxy war, right? Endlessly. Just see how many Ukrainians we can kill for years and years. And here's another important factor. There's a NATO base in Romania, and the leading presidential candidate, Georgescu, has said that the expansion of the MK Air Base is aimed at starting a war with Russia. NATO is using Romania as a door for war, aiming to launch a major offensive into Russia. The independent presidential candidate has said, and again, this is why the U.S. does not like him. The U.S. often likes far-right leaders, right? We put far-right leaders in Argentina and many other places. We generally love far-right leaders, the U.S. ruling elite. But when it comes to Romania, we don't like him because he's anti-proxy war. And I saw someone made a great point that really Romania is a bit of a test bubble for whether the West and maybe others beyond the West can cancel presidential elections, can cancel democracy whenever it doesn't suit them. And let's see what happens. Let's see if it's actually a big deal. Maybe we can just cancel democracy when we feel like it. Now, of course, the U.S. doesn't need to cancel democracy because ours is so rigged and bought out that there's no fear that an anti-capitalist is going to win the presidency. So our democracy is just rigged. We don't need to cancel it. The ruling elite don't need to cancel it. There's no fear there.